Hello, welcome to the first video of the studio build. Sorry for the super janky iPhone in a mirror introduction. I ordered myself a new camera and it should be here next week, but in the meantime, I wanted to start on my first video. And the first video is just going to show the state of the studio, the network rack, and just a general overview about what we're going to try to do. So let's see where we're at right now. So this is my house. We're going to be doing a home studio build here. And this is the room right here. So as you can see, it's very messy, and we are in a hoarder side of state of things right now. But just to give a quick background, here's why this room looks like this. This home is based in Ohio, and I lived here for 2 years and had I wouldn't say a commercial recording studio, but a personal recording studio in this room. And I was the only person living at this house, and then I moved to New York after living here for 2 years. So this room has just kind of been a dumping ground for projects when I'm back and forth between Ohio and New York. So we did a drum session here over Christmas of 2019, and we liked the way the room sounded, and there's a few more projects coming up, so we just decided to start doing drum tracking in Ohio. So in order to get this up and moving, I'd like to take this room and make a pro studio in it with a 48 channel analog console. So the way that the rooms were wired together at one point, it was this green room, and then this orange room was our drum room, which we had amplifiers and the drum kit in here. So this is the live room. The green room is the control room. So there's a few remnants of the studio that still remain. It's we have the whiteboard for song tracking. These are just absorbers. And then the way that the two rooms connected together was there's two DB25 connectors in the wall, and then they just terminate into female XLRs, so that if you were running headphones, you can do that, or if you were just running straight mic input. So that's 16 channels right there. So going back into the live room, that all came out of the wall. This is a very precarious walking situation at the moment. That all came out of the wall right there, and then they were wired into the patch bays that were right there, and then that's how everything connected. So the center of the center of the studio is this Tascam DM3200. Sorry, just need to get a better footing here. The center of the studio is a Tascam DM3200. So all of the patch bays, the top row of the patch bays was what was in the wall. The second level was the preamps of the console. That was the preamp input of the console. The third layer down was the preamp output, and then the fourth layer down was the interface input. So the whole studio worked wired together using the Tascam DM3200 as the center. So back in 2012, when I bought this console, the main reason for doing it was it is a recording console. So you can get some levels or different layers here. Rather, let me move this stuff out of the way. So not only did you get channel levels right here, you also got this remote level, which was cool because I use Nuendo to record. So this was my software controller. So if you just flip it down to this remote menu, all of the faders are motorized, and you can have you can do automated mixes in the box. We have a monitor up here on the wall, which is kind of hilarious to show how old it is. I bought that monitor in probably 2010 or 2011. That's a 27-inch monitor, and it is gigantic. So you can see that's It's just showing its age a bit. So I'm gonna list the DM3200 for sale. It's in perfect condition and actually has a flight case that comes with it. So I'm gonna list that for sale and just get rid of it because I'd like to replace it with an analog console. And I have one picked out, but I don't quite want to jinx what I'm gonna use quite yet until we until the deal is done. One of the issues is I don't know how big this room is. And the console that I'm looking at is about 86 inches wide by about 42 inches deep with the XLRs. And I'll just give you guys another view here. And I did it quickly with the measuring tape, and it looks like it'll fit, but I need to see the logistics of physically getting it in this room and what to do with it. So this room also has a closet, which I used to put amplifiers in. So the only thing that's in there now is just some case lids. Has a snare drum shell, that white thing right there that I was working on, and just some closet space. It's basically just filled with junk. So a little bit more of the history as to why this room is so completely filled with crap is while I was living in New York, a friend of mine needed a place to live. And since I am back in this house about a week a month, not here that often, I said, you can rent the back room, which was the orange room. So he had to be out of the place where he was living very quickly, and I didn't have time to neatly or do anything in an organized way. So everything just kind of got piled in here. And then it's just been that way for the past year or so because I just haven't had any time, to be honest with you, to do it. Sometimes I'm sure any of you that are gigging musicians or gigging engineers know that when the faucet's turned on, it's turned on, and when it's slow, it's slow. So last year was a really busy year for me, so I didn't get a chance to really do anything. But I've got a good idea about what I want to do in here. So that's that. So this is part one. We're going to start cleaning this. So the first video that I'd like to do is I want to start building the network rack and relocating all of the audio infrastructure. You can see those are the amplifiers that were in the room. So because that orange room is being used as an office at the moment, we're going to keep that as an office, and we're going to relocate those snake heads so that they come out right here on this wall. Generally, when we track drums, we do it in this room. And actually, one of the reasons why I bought the house is because of the room. It's got really high ceilings, and it has this nice angled back wall, which drums in here just sound amazing. So actually, I'm going to post some pictures. Here are the still pictures of our Christmas drum session. So I want to make the snake head come out there. I'd also like to put some Cat 5 jacks in there. I'm playing with the idea of running all the headphone sends over Cat 5, XLR over Cat 5. So that's going to be one of the first videos. The other video is going to be, we're going to be redoing, we're just going to go down in the basement here. You can tell this is just some gear storage. So over here in the summertime, I started to work on this network rack, but again, I just ran out of time, and there's most of the equipment that needs to be installed, but I got the rack mounted on the wall, but as you can tell, it's just very, very messy in there. So that's going to be probably the first project that we tackle, is going to be organizing this. There is a 24-port network switch that's in there, in addition to a power strip, and then I'm going to also order coming up this week just a straight up patch bay, because since the house is so disjointed and not a real recording studio kind of way with glass, I want to put just raw Cat 5 jacks around the house, just so we can run video and audio and things over a Cat 5 infrastructure that's in there. So I've got a couple of cable pulls, that's what that is, but again, we never really finished it, and I'd like to get a few more rooms in. But just to give just a backbone, or just a basic understanding of the electrical system in the house has a whole house generator, which is what that Guardian box is on the right, and then it's got a 200 amp main service. So and then this being the network box that's right next to it. So as we as we start with the projects, I think we may need to do some power. So just as the lay of the land for the basement here, the drum room is right here. So this is the DB25 snake that was disconnected. I had this up in the ceiling for a while, but then I started to work on a project and got distracted. So it's hard to justify things that aren't necessarily paying the bills when it comes time for projects that actually do pay the bills. So this is the front of the house. This is our green room right here. So a lot of the cable runs are going to come through there. You can tell where I already punched through, and that's been in the wall, and that's been there since 2012. So I think we can just add on to this cable run. But a lot of the running that we're going to have to do is running network cables from here and then to where our drum room is. Well, our X drum room over here is an office that we're going to add some hardwired Cat 5 to, and then that all has to go back to the box over there. But yeah, looking at the basement, I mean, we don't have anything down here. It's just gears. It's just, you know, paper towels and normal stuff, but storage. Lots of drums and flight cases and stuff. And I'm trying to move a lot of my equipment back from storage back to the house so I can have access to it and not pay for a storage facility. So, yeah, that's the first part of the video. Just like to say thanks for stopping by, and really looking forward to finishing up this project. We'll see you for video 2.